Good day, beautiful people. I've been doing some heavy thinking for the past 10 years at least about the slave ships and slavery here in America. Now, I will say this one thing. No, unmistakably, blacks were enslaved in America. That's no doubt. Too much history about that. But what I don't see is where all these big-ass boats that we came across. Now, let's look at it from a logical standpoint. Why would you transport millions of people, right? Millions of people over here, lose a great percentage of your cargo when you got plenty of black people right on the land you're trying to conquer. Now, the only time I actually seen black people arriving in America was in the 1800s. I don't think they were coming over here as slaves. You know what I'm saying? Because slavery was already in the motion of it. You know, I could be wrong. I'm just saying, I'm thinking that's why that they want to call us African Americans, so we can't lie ties to this land. I think the so-called Indians made a deal with the colonizers in order to eradicate us, and just say we're just gonna say it's your land, and here's the deal: we're gonna pay you this money, and we'll give it to you a very small percentage before we give these Negroes anything. And somewhere down the line, so-called Indians made a treaty with the white folks, so that us black people won't realize that we've already been here, even before the so-called American Indian. Now that's what I'm finding out. You know, that's what I'm finding out. And I can't blame the quote-unquote American Indian for not knowing this. Because just like their shit got lost, our shit got lost, and then they got replaced with their information. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Now, here's my opinion of why they have Black History Month. Black History Month is nothing more than a reset. So all you know about black history is enslavement. You know, so I think it's, first of all, fuck Black History Month. It should be Black History period, not just a month. But I think they use that particular event to reset your brain as to making you think that's what really happened. I call bullshit on that. I feel like most of us was already here. Now, did slaves come over here on a slave ship? Don't know. I know that blacks were slaves, but as far as arriving from Africa, show me a slave boat. We can find everything else in the world, but we can't find them damn slave ships, huh? Show me one. I want to see it. I've seen pictures of shit, like in your Bibles, so they got black people stacked on top of each other like sardines. Who can live in those conditions for months? Diseases, famine, all you wouldn't make it. You would make that trip. You wouldn't survive the trip in those conditions. It just don't logically make sense to my spirit. That Black History Month is nothing but a reset. So you can train yourself to think that we came over here as slaves and that's all we know. I think, like I said, I call bullshit on that. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. If y'all didn't show me where I can see a slave ship, please direct me so I can see it. But like I say, I don't believe anything. Either I know it or I don't. If I don't know, I find out. If I don't find out, it simply means I didn't try hard enough or it's just not meant for me to know yet. You know. But I'm not believing in slave ship shit. I'm not believing in slave ship shit at all. As a matter of fact, I don't trust anything that they put their hands on as far as history. It's his story, but it might not be history. You know. It's an event to reset your brain to slavery. Which, yeah, we were slaves. But the whole story about how the slave came about is what I'm concerned about. I'm just saying. Like I said, I could be wrong. If I am wrong, show me something. Show me the boats. I read plenty of documents. I read plenty of shit. I just ain't seen shit. But people can write down anything. Like Christopher Columbus discovered America. They can write down anything and make you believe it's true. So that's why I don't believe anything. But with that being said, man, I love each and every single one of y'all. Y'all stay beautiful, stay blessed, and stay aware of yourself as well as your surroundings. I am no one. And I know this. I smell bullshit in the game. It's time to reset. Tap in with our ancestors. You'll find the truth there because they damn sure gonna tell you. Can't trust anything they say. You know, so And if I'm wrong, like I say, show me a slave ship, show me a fucking museum where the slave ships was found. Show me something. And I'll be like, okay, cool. But I still feel, even if I did see some slave ships, we didn't come over here like that. We've been here we've been here. They enslaved the natives here, which were us. And I feel like they made a treaty with the known American Indians to say, hey man, we're gonna say it's your land, although we're gonna take it all. But before we give these Negroes anything, we're gonna put you in reservation camps, we're gonna pay you X amount of money to keep your fucking mouth shut. That's what I feel. Could be wrong. I could be wrong, but that's what my spirit says. Peace to the children. We'll talk soon. I want to see them slave ships. I do. Tag me in one if you found one. I would love to see it. Peace.
You don't believe that Africans were brought over on slave ships?
Correct. I believe it may have happened. You know, maybe people were brought over as slaves, but I don't think that the black people in America came from Africa on slave ships. I believe the people that were here were slowly conquered. First, they got the East Coast, and then they started spreading out west, little by little conquering. And when you conquer a tribe, what do? You enslave them. They're POWs.
Yeah, so part two of slave ships are not real. Listen up, listen up. Look, so y'all telling me that y'all really believe that 12.7 million of us was brought over here on slave ships that held 200 to 600 people per ship, right? And this voyage that they brought us over on these ships that they brought us, it took 3 to 4 months for us to get here. And y'all telling me they had enough drinking water and enough food to keep majority of us alive. Out of that 12.7 million they supposed to brought over, they say only 10.7 made it. Y'all really believe that? Man, wake up, man. Y'all, they told me that too. They told all of us that. It's no proof to what they told us, and y'all
captured by some anonymous so-called white people that don't speak your language, but they somehow managed to capture you and your family members. Matter of fact, your whole tribe. When I tell you that white supremacy is an illusion, that's what I'm talking about. You just handing them the power. That forces you to not look at the bigger picture. They didn't even have ships. Keep in mind, during the time period that I'm referring to, during the 1600s and all the way to the late 1800s, these type of boats ain't become commercial until the mid to late 1800s. Perfect. That's number one. Number two, how many you think you about to fit on here? On top of your crew and hopefully some type of sources or resources rather, in order for y'all to stay afloat, to travel 40 to 50 days from Africa to South America. So that's even more reason why this image wouldn't make sense. These white folks captured you from who? Who captured you from who? Would you survive this if you were
their buildings? New York was already there for thousands of years. San Francisco was there for thousands of years. Los Angeles was there for thousands of years. They were built by the indigenous people who were black and Indians as well. The black people, they weren't brought over by slaves. They are the original owners of America. Black people, African Americans. They don't come from Africa. They were already here.
Talk.
Consider yourself a part of. I am Cherokee Native American, born here in Virginia. I have no African heritage whatsoever and no African relatives. I am all Cherokee Indian. How come? You probably are too. Well, why do you say that? Because the Indian is black, actually. It's the same people that Columbus met when he got off the boat. We are not African. This is Richmond, Virginia, where the first 20 slaves landed. There's no record of any other slaves landing here. Those 20 Africans that landed here were on a boat that was hijacked by Portuguese. The real black slaves here were Portuguese. Most of the slaves in this country were actually white, not black. My people owned slaves. We weren't slave owners. 96% of the southern slaves were owned by the 5 tribes of the Lakota. I am Cherokee, the largest of the 5 tribes.
All right. Appreciate it, man.
In the case of an American Negro, born in that glittering republic, and in the moment you are born, since you don't know any better, every stick and stone and every face is white, and since you have not yet seen a mirror, you suppose that you are too. It comes as a great shock around the age of 5 or 6 or 7 to discover that the flag to which you have pledged allegiance, along with everybody else, has not pledged allegiance to you. It comes as a great shock to discover that Gary Cooper killing off the Indians when you were rooting for Gary Cooper, that the Indians were you, 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 that the Indians were you.